On today's episode of Dappa.DANIEL, Spiritas Ranch, which is a big master plan community. This developer in here is Centurion American Development Group. I think what you're going to be compromising in this neighborhood is kind of the build quality. HOA of $900 annually. There's going to be a tax rate in here of 2.19%. Couple of amenity centers. You're going to have hiking trails, playground, a soccer field. This is the shoreline that they're kind of talking about. So I don't know what your definition of shoreline is, but that's their definition of shoreline. So that makes sense. Howdy folks, welcome back to another video today. We are doing a neighborhood tour over here in Little Elm, Texas, over in Denton County. So shout out to Flora Rosa who left a comment on the last live stream on Sunday. And also if you haven't tuned in on Sundays, usually around like 11-12 p.m. Central, I'm doing live streams. So hop on there and you can ask me like live questions and all those types of things if you have any questions about some of the neighborhoods, new constructions. But someone had left a comment over Spiritas Ranch, which is a big master plan community. This developer in here is Centurion American Development Group, and they're actually one of the more popular ones in the sense of, actually I take that back. The word popular isn't the right word to use because I feel like Centurion American Development Group from like Facebook pages and just seeing the sentiment towards them with some things. I've seen a lot of buyers not happy with that developer compared to some other developers. Now at the end of the day, not everyone's gonna be happy. These developers are running businesses, but I just find a lot more people hating on the Centurion American Development Groups than some of the others. That also might be due to the type of builders that are usually in a Centurion American Development Group. There might be some type of what's the word I'm looking for? It's like coincidence, So we'll go through this one. This one's not gonna have like my favorite builders in it, but I do want to come check it out for you guys that are in like a lower budget price range. So that's the thing with that. It's like, okay, you're in a I think this is generally a good area in the sense of like you're close to 380. So if you want to go out to Prosper or get down to Frisco, not too far away, but not so much if you're trying to get out to downtown Dallas. And I'll talk about the commute times later, but I think where you're going to be compromising, or I think what you're going to be compromising in this neighborhood is kind of the build quality. So these are production builders. Now, majority of the neighborhoods I go through, they're production builders, but there are some other ones that are a little bit nicer than the majority of these, okay? And I'll kind of get into more details about what builders I like and who I really don't like. If you've been watching my channel for a bit of time, you're already gonna know who I really am not a fan of, but we'll get to that. So we'll go around this neighborhood, show you kind of what to expect with this. There's also gonna be an on-site elementary as well. So there's gonna be a few new schools around this part, and it's gonna go into Denton ISD, but like I said, we'll talk about that here in a bit. But let's kind of go through this neighborhood and see what's built out for now. And so you can actually see the front of these homes and kind of what they look like. They've got a lot of things with brick on it. There's still a lot of options within this. That guy wasn't even looking. There's still plenty of options within this neighborhood as well. So different lots, and there's going to be 5 phases within here. They're really only into their first phase. Last time I came around here, they had just started framing up some things, but it looks like they're moving pretty quick. That's the other thing with these builders. They move a lot quicker than some of the other builders. And I was talking to a buyer of mine today that was telling me about some of the builders over in Salina that were giving them 5 to 7 month build times on like a 3,000 square foot house, which I mean, at the end of the day, I want things to get built timely, but I also don't want things to get rushed, right? Like when a builder tells me 5 months and it's like a 3,000 square foot house, I'm like, whoa, like let's take a time out and let's review this, because I want to make sure everything kind of gets built in properly with the timing. And it might be okay. I'm just saying, I don't like when they are trying to rush stuff. So within this neighborhood, it's going to be an HOA of $900 annually. There's going to be a tax rate in here of 2.19%. When it's all said and done, there's going to be about 2,100 single family homes within here. They're also kind of marketing like 62 miles of shoreline, but this is what they're considering shoreline, okay? This is the shoreline. Let me show you guys what the shoreline looks like. Go by it right here over in this cul-de-sac. And there's going to be a few cul-de-sacs within this neighborhood, but this is the shoreline that they're kind of talking about. So I don't know what your definition of shoreline is, but that's their definition of shoreline. Kind of when I think about shoreline and their you know, I see marketing, I'm like, oh, it's like a little, not beach, right, because we're on the lake, but at least something you can walk. You're not really able to get down into that. So cool, you get 66 miles of shoreline. There might be some areas where there's a bit of walking trails to kind of go around, but just keep in mind, a lot of it isn't going to be backed up to like a flat shoreline where you could just like step outside your backyard and walk straight into the water. A lot of the area around here is just going to be heavy wooded areas. Which, that being said, you know, you'll have some privacy on the back of some of these lots. Now, for these ones that we're driving around here, not so much, because they don't have any alleyways and you're going to be backed up to your neighbor. There are some small retaining walls here and there. I'm not seeing anything major. There's something like this, you know, I'm maybe not the biggest fan of these lots here just because that retaining wall is pretty decent. I would say anything bigger than that retaining wall, I really would not recommend, but you got to think about this is like your backyard is already pretty limited on some of these lots. Now, they'll be doing 40s, 50s, and 60s within this community, and they're kind of getting to all the lot sizes. Majority of the builders are within here, okay? I think Lennar was like the only one, or Lennar and who was the other? And Mattamy were the only two that didn't really have stuff on their website that was like showing prices and that type of stuff when I went to go pull out some more information. The amenities in here, so you're gonna have a couple of amenity centers. You're gonna have hiking trails, a playground, a soccer field, a pool, and a sand volleyball court. So here's the thing with this, and you know, if you guys have called me to work with me and you watch my videos and you've kind of noticed what I've talked about before, is like within this market, and I'll say this on the phone with people, is like you're gonna have to compromise somewhere, because it's just not, either the prices are too high and it's in the right school district, or it's in the wrong school district and the quality of the builder's not so good. So it's somewhere along the line you're gonna have to compromise, right? And so with this neighborhood, I think, you know, I think that for some of these builders in here, right, not all of them, because like I said, I'm not a big fan of all of them, but for some of these builders in here, I think for the level of the community, in the sense of like the amount of amenities, hiking trails, those types of things will make up for the build quality in here. So I do like that. I hate when I see these types of builders in neighborhoods that really have nothing in it. Maybe like a small pool with a couple layout chairs, but other than that, nothing. Okay, this neighborhood's gonna be a little bit different. They're gonna have a few more, they're not gonna have all the things under the sun like a Windsong Ranch, but I do think they're gonna be quite competitive with a lot of the other neighborhoods. Prairie Oaks is another neighborhood that's just south of here, kind of attaches with it. Prairie Oaks, that neighborhood really only has an amenity center and walking trails. Not gonna have as many amenities in there. However, I do like the builders better in that neighborhood. So, and it's also gonna be a little bit more pricey over there as well too. So that's kind of the deal. So that's why I kind of go back and say that there's gonna be just a compromise somewhere. So looks like they got the Pulte, the DR Horton. Let's see, First Texas Homes model is coming soon. The Lennar model's coming soon. So this is a fairly new community, and for it being, you know, fairly new, I would say it's like they're moving pretty good on these homes right now. So I do think they have some popularity over here because, you know, people are seeing the price range, and I think also people are just trying to stay as close to Frisco and Prosper in those areas. The reason why these price ranges around here, not just because of the builder is going to be a little bit less, but these school districts are not going to be rated as high as like Prosper, Frisco, maybe kind of there with McKinney in some aspects, depending on if the elementary school is new or not. But over here, now this, I think the ratings over here are going to get better though with this Denton ISD one, because the new schools are coming into this one, and like I said, newer is always better. Sometimes some of these other neighborhoods have just been rated a little bit worse, let's call it, just because they go into an older school that's been around for a long time. Now this is interesting. So these lots here, you know, if you're working with me and I'm your agent, I would not recommend any of these lots here, because you've got a ginormous power line on the backside and you get no backyard up to a retaining wall. This power line structure also runs in through the back of part of Prairie Oaks, but I really am not a fan of any of these lots here. So a good bit of this development has a power line structure going right through it. So if you haven't been out to the area and you're coming across this video and you're trying to get a better idea on what everything looks like, just know that there are some pretty legit power lines. Now, I'm not talking about these power lines that are like, you know, the telephone poles up at the front of the streets, right? Those are kind of a hit or miss. I don't mind those too much. It's these major power lines. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't want to be behind any power lines, or I wouldn't personally recommend, but it also comes down to what's the price of the house, what's the neighborhood look like. Like, there's a lot of factors, right? Like, it all goes back into that word I've been using, compromise. The whole size of this community is about 550 acres, so a good bit of it is going to be able to be walked around. They got these trails kind of in this middle of the neighborhood here, and then we'll drive up a little bit further. They haven't built really anything else on this side, but I wanted to see if this was the elementary school or a middle school. I think it's might be the elementary school, might be wrong. Let's see. And then this road is going to connect up into 380, so you actually won't have to hop onto 720 to get out to that. You can actually take this road. So there's going to be like two entrances, one from 380, one from 720. Let's see what, I'm trying to see if there's a sign on here. Let's see. Maybe that is an elementary school. All right, we'll figure it out. I'll pop it up on the screen. Actually, I'll show you a map right now, and that'll show you what the site is going to be. It could be the future elementary school that they're building in here, but there are going to be like the new schools, the newish high school. I wouldn't say Ray Braswell is completely new, but it is going to be one of the more new Denton ISD schools over here. And then this road would connect you up to 380, and then all of this is going to be built out here, as you can see. So I'll pull over, and then we'll talk about the builders and kind of their floor plans and their prices that they're showing right now. But here's another look at that school that's getting built. That might be the elementary school. Usually elementary schools are one story, but Denton ISD is a little bit bigger, so I guess that would make sense if that was the two-story one. All right. That's the other thing is, like, keep in mind, guys, like, some of these school districts have different size classes, so whether or not you want your kid to have a good chance at being, you know, top 10%, maybe you want to put them in like more of like a 5A. Let's talk about the builders real quick. For Pulte Homes, they had 14 floor plans. I just put out a few of them. For their classic series, they have the Harrison plan, 3-bed, 2.5 bath, 1,698 square feet, starting at $377,000. They have the Nelson plan, 3-bed, 2.5 bath, 2,107 square feet, starting at $402,000. The Rybrook plan, 3-bed, 2.5 bath, 2,449 square feet, starting at $424,000. Their Terrace series, the Arlington plan, 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,809 square feet, starting at $413,000. The Lockridge plan, 3-bed, 2.5 bath, 2,426 square feet, starting at $453,000. The Riverdale plan, 4-bed, 2.5 bath, 2,792 square feet, starting at $475,000. The Lexington plan, 4-bed, 2.5 bath, 3,284 square feet, starting at $492,000. Mattamy Homes, on their website, they showed coming soon and to go in on their interest list to be added to that. So if you're interested in that builder, I'd recommend going onto their website and then filling in your information. That way you can just kind of stay updated. For First Texas Homes, they had 13 floor plans. They're also kind of coming soon right now, but they did show some quick move-ins as well on their website, so they are selling some of this stuff right now, and they did have prices for their floor plans. So they had, on the low end, they had the Inwood F plan, 4-bed, 3-bath, 2,122 square feet, starting at $484,000. The Woodford 2F plan, 4-bed, 3-bath, 2,508 square feet, starting at $500,000. The Coventry 2F plan, 5-bed, 3.5 bath, 3,224 square feet, starting at $549,000. The Stonehaven 2F plan, 5-bed, 3.5 bath, 3,647 square feet, starting at $604,000. The Remington 2F plan, 5-bed, 4-bath, 3,881 square feet, starting at $624,000. And then on the high end, they have the Brentwood 3FS plan, 5-bed, 3.5 bath, 4,302 square feet, starting at $679,000. For DR Horton, which I guess I'll just mention these, even though they're just down to my core, I don't want to say anything about. Anyways, let me just get to these floor plans for DR Horton. So Sophia, 4-bed, 2.5 bath, 2,471 square feet, starting at $402,000. The Aspen plan, 4-bed, 2-bath, 2,077 square feet, starting at $456,000. The Holly plan, 5-bed, 3-bath, 2,782 square feet, starting at $487,000. The Inglewood plan, 4-bed, 3-bath, 2,970 square feet, starting at $495,000. The Evergreen plan, 4-bed, 2.5 bath, 3,049 square feet, starting at $499,000. And then the Telluride plan, 4-bed, 2.5 bath, 2,863 square feet, starting at $491,000. D.R. Horton had like 13 floor plans up on their website. For Beazer, they had 6 floor plans. They had the Brooks 4-bed, 2-bath, 1,875 square feet, starting at $462,000. The Magnolia plan, 4-bed, 2.5-bath, 2,098 square feet, starting at $488,000. The Avalon plan, 3-bed, 2.5-bath, 2,431 square feet, starting at $522,000. The Parker plan, 4-bed, 2.5-bath, 3,075 square feet, starting at $573,000. The Summerfield plan, 4-bed, 3-bath, 2,871 square feet, starting at $585,000. The Blackburn plan, 4-bed, 2.5-bath, 3,451 square feet, starting at $588,000. And then for Lennar, they didn't have any prices on their website, but they did show coming soon and to join their interest list. And then and this isn't like an interest list, like they've got a lot of demand. This is more like just sending you emails. So I don't want to get that conflicted, because like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, you know, interest list meant like you're getting put on a list of a whole bunch of names. So you are getting put on a list of names, but it's more of just like keeping you updated with what's going on in the community. I think there should be plenty of availability within here. I think for the most part, what's going to keep people off this neighborhood is not the prices, because people are going to like these prices, but it's really just going to be like the rating of the school districts compared to some of the other ones. So people might either go into a pre-owned Frisco home that's a lot older, rather than buying a new construction home over here for the same price, going into a kind of a lower rated school district. But they were building anything from like a 4-bed, 3-bath, 2,177 square feet up to a 4-bed, 3-bath, 3,549 square feet on there. All right, so that's what the new construction looks like. So if you have any questions about that, send me a text. Love to help you out on that and let you know some more information about some of the floor plans and kind of what I like. Or join my live stream on Sundays and we'll kind of review those things as well. So the other thing I want to talk about was the actives in here. There was about 15 actives. On the low end, there was a D.R. Horton 2023 4-bed, 2.5-bath, 2,133 square feet, closed at $392,000 at $181 per square foot. And then on the high end, they had a Pulte home, a 5-bed, 4-bath, 3,701 square feet, closed at $590,000 at $161 per square foot. And so for the actives right now, on the average, active was a 2023 4-bed, 2.5-bath, 2,399 square feet, averaged price of $464,000 at $198 per square foot, which I think is a little bit high. So I think they still have some of these smaller floor plans right now that are going in. Here's another look at that amazing straight line of a power line that goes straight through this community. So these lots here, it looks like this one on the side, not going to be quite in your backyard, but this lot here is going to have it up along their backyard. Now they did put the walking trail up along the power line structure. So if you're far away from the walking trail and you don't know which way to go, just look up at the power lines and they'll direct you right to it. For closed in here in the last 180 days, there's been about 9 homes. On the low end closed, there was a 2023 4-bed, 2-bath, 1,064 square feet, closed at $328,000 at $205 per square foot. And then on the high end, there was a 2023 5-bed, 3-bath, 2,703 square feet, closed at $461,000 at $170 per square foot. The average home closed right now, 2023 4-bed, 2-bath, 2,116 square feet at $397,000 at $189 per square foot. So you can kind of see the difference between those. Actives are averaging at like $198 per square foot, and then closed right now is at $189. I kind of expect that number to get a little, maybe around like $175 per square foot when more gets closer. Now, that being said, also, I'm pulling data off the MLS, and unless the home's getting listed on the MLS, I can't see how it closed. So like anybody that's gone in here and picked a lot and built on it and closed on that home just with the builder, I can't really have I don't see the information. It's not really pulling that. It kind of stays hidden until that home gets sold, or if that builder lists that home actually on the MLS to market it. So can't see everything, but that's right now what the MLS looks like. There probably has been more homes that closed in here, so maybe that's not a perfect idea, but at least it's kind of closed. I do wish there was more homes closed in here just to give you guys the best idea, but for right now it's just so new that there's not. The school district in here is going to be Denton ISD. That's going to be Providence Elementary, Rodriguez Middle School, and then Ray Braswell High School. So all those schools are not too far away from here, but like I was saying, the future elementary school is also going to be on site later on. So that is something to kind of look forward to if you do have a younger kid that's going to be going into elementary school or already into elementary school. The development is going to keep going back that way out towards the east. So we're kind of on like the southern western part of the neighborhood in some aspects, but it's going to keep going and just really follow the shoreline, I guess we can call it, right? Because that's what they're calling it. You know what? Right now you can kind of see the water maybe some places, but once these trees get grown out with leaves in the springtime, it's going to be a lot more denser, so it's not going to really feel like a shoreline. It's just going to be a bunch of kind of woods behind you. They do still have some cows over here, so they haven't developed where the cows are chilling, but there are some cows over there just eating some grass right now. The commute out of here down to Dallas is going to be 50 minutes. DFW Airport is going to be 37 minutes. Fort Worth is going to be 1 hour away. Frisco is going to be 27 minutes away. The high school is going to be 11 minutes away. The hospital is going to be 20 minutes away. And then the nearest grocery store is going to be 8 minutes away. So this neighborhood, if you're looking on a map, it is a bit out there. It's not the furthest out there. You are on the southern part of 380, but you're probably still going to be hopping onto 380 to go do your traveling. And just know right now that where 380 is, if you're going to head to the Dallas North Tollway from here, it is going to be at some points it's going to be a pain because they haven't completely finished expanding everything, and there's a lot of traffic due to Windsong Ranch and some of these other bigger master plan communities that are actually closer to the Dallas North Tollway, so you'll be behind that traffic in the mornings. I do have families that live over in this way, whether it be Prairie Oaks or some of these other neighborhoods that do commute into Plano, and that takes about 30 minutes. So, you know, even though Frisco on there showed 30 minutes, you could be into Frisco, just not the heart of it. Probably really Frisco, the border of Frisco is more like 15 minutes away because you kind of go through Little Elm. And then over to the left, that neighborhood is where Prairie Oaks is. And then you can see some of these DR Hortons here have been closed on because they have some people out front of them. Actually, no, that one didn't. Maybe that's someone just checking. Maybe this side hasn't been closed on. Let's see if we can find a house that's been closed. Oh, this is a busy street here. I guess this is getting close. That one actually might be done because it's got blinds on it. Either way, they said about 9 homes right now have been closed in here, so for the MLS, not being said in total, there could be some more that have actually been closed in total. Majority of these houses are all gonna look the same, so if you're kind of looking for variety, if you're looking for unique styles, that's not right. This goes back into that compromise. So that's kind of the deal over here, is that these homes are just gonna be quite simple on the inside. They're gonna have the most basic things going on with them. Okay. So that's going to be it for Spiritas Ranch and kind of driving around. We drove around majority of the community right now. It is going to be a lot bigger than this. So just know, like, we only, you know, drove on like the southern and also on the northwestern side of the community. Just know that a good bit of it is still going to go more out towards the east and follow that shoreline. So if you got any more questions about this neighborhood or building new construction over in the Little Elm area or somewhere over here for new construction around $400,000 to $500,000, please send me a text or give me a call. Would love to work with you and your family on your home search. Other than that, peace out, y'all, and take it easy as always. Thanks for checking out my channel and watching that video. I got more videos floating around here. If you're in the market to buy or sell real estate in the DFW area, contact me, Daniel, at the Home Expert Team. I will be happy to answer any of your questions. Besides that, bye.